to the legends of the creative and entertainment industry. We talk to those on the rise. Lance Dean Anthony Nielsen asks about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. This is Outcast Creative, and this is Industry Interviews.
Hello. Welcome to another industry interview on this fine Friday evening. It's a bit parky out there, so if you are going out raving tomorrow, then wrap up. So my guest this evening is someone I've been trying to get on the channel since, I think going back before lockdown even. And he's a multi-skilled talented creative and the sort of person I love having on my team. If I'm shooting a movie and I know the crew is going to be tight in terms of numbers, you want crew members that are multi-skilled. In other words, they can perform a number of different jobs. And it's not to say that you want to overload your crew and give them more work than they can handle, but it is great if people have different skill sets. And this man is a master of many. But before we bring him on, I think we should have a little look at some of the work of Richard Oakes, and I've got his show reel just here, and I think we'll share it and have a look. And anyone in the chat that's watching, if there's any sound issues, please do sound off. But here we go. And hopefully we won't get a copyright flag for this. So if we do, I'll be having words with my guests. All right, let's have a quick look at this. Well, I mean, with a show reel like that, I mean, the man should really be, directing episodes of The Walking Dead, really, or shooting them at the very least. Richard Oakes, welcome to the Outcast Creative, of which you're already a fully fledged member, us having worked together a few times. Very good to have you on, and I'm very grateful that you even had your haircut, especially for the occasion. Looking very trimmed and in good order.
Yeah.
Welcome on the channel, mate. It's great to have you here. And also, on behalf of myself and all the cast of the production, thank you so much for coming down and supporting our opening night of Seven Magnificent Egos with your entire clan. Did your kids enjoy the show?
They actually did. They absolutely did enjoy it.
Fantastic.
I thought they wouldn't quite get what was going on so much, but they had a good time.
Excellent. It's very accessible. Well, before we get on to your career and talk about the massive plethora of projects you're also working on at the minute, I've got a standard set of quick fire questions that I always ask my guests, as you all know from watching all of my other interviews religiously. So the first one that I always ask people is, what is the first movie you can remember being taken to see as a kid on the big screen?
See, I always thought it was something, and then found out recently it wasn't. I always
Glad you
thought it was.
researched.
Yeah, I thought it was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. That was the first
Oh,
time I remember the cinema.
that's
But
a good.
but I think it was actually Back to the Future 3, I remember going to see, but I thought that came out after. But I'm sure I Googled it, and Back to the Future 3 came out first. So maybe I got my wires crossed. But either way, I like both of those movies.
Did you? I mean, had you already seen Back to the Futures 1 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of you knew what was going on. You didn't see the first two at the cinema. You would have seen them on VHS then.
Yeah, I think the first one came out the year after I was born, or the year I was born. So
Right.
didn't go to the cinema then.
Okay. What's the last film that you paid to go and see at the cinema?
The last one. That's a harder question.
Yeah. Last time you paid for a ticket, not I don't mean going to see a friend's film screening or
No, I'm trying to think what it was. Maybe The Monkey.
Oh yeah, that was kind of quite a batshit nuts movie.
Yeah.
The Monkey. Okay. Since The Sopranos, which debuted, I believe it was in 1997, tell me a television drama show that you liked so much that you had to watch all of the seasons religiously, and was one of those kind of, for you, it was like, oh yeah, I'd like to do something like this one day.
Probably Stranger Things.
Which season is your favorite?
Well, I do like the first one. I'd say is more straight up horror, and they kind of become more 80s fun as they go. So they all have different things I like, but for different reasons. But I think I always like origin stories. Like, I'm not really into superhero movies, but if I do, it's always the first one, because after that I find it boring. There's no, like, you want to know how they became that, what happened to them, but after that it all becomes a bit boring. So
Yeah. I'm not a massive superhero movie fan. Well, certainly not anymore. I'm just bored, completely bored by that whole genre. What would be a favorite movie of yours to whack on a Sunday afternoon to veg that you watch at least once a year?
I don't know if there's anything I watched once. Maybe Hot Rod is pretty common one. It's one of my favorite.
It's not an answer we've been given before. I love that film.
It's so good. It's just one of the most underrated. It's my favorite comedy of all time.
That's the one with the guy who's, it's sort of done like a kind of 70s B movie, and he's got that little bike and he's trying to sort of set up to do mega jumps, and he does that jump over the pool at the party or something, and he's crap. He's just sort of, there's nothing about him that's really
He's a
any good.
stunt man that doesn't pull off a single stunt in the movie. It's great.
Yeah.
And I think it's Andy Samberg at his best.
Yeah, I did like that film. I remember when I saw the trailer for it, I thought, I've got to see this.
Yeah, it's just pure stupidity, which is my favorite type of comedy.
Yeah, saw that one at the cinema. So do you have a favorite film director?
It has changed. It used to be David Fincher, but I haven't really enjoyed much of his films in the last 15 years, probably. I'm terrible with my knowledge of names and stuff. But Villeneuve is probably coming up to be my new favorite, I'd say.
Okay, interesting. I got to meet him the June premiere after party, so that was quite something. And he was,
he's extremely talented.
Yeah, really nice, quite a nice man as well. Fantastic. Do you have an actor or actress that you would, British or American, well, can even be Lithuanian or wherever, that you'd really like to work with on one of your shoots?
It always changes.
I'm sure there's more than one, but you know, give me a name that comes to mind that you've always thought, oh yeah, I'd be good to work with him or her one day.
You know, when you kind of really like someone and then you oversee them and you just get bored of them, that tends to happen most of the time. So, but I really like one person that comes to mind at the moment is actually I've forgotten her name though. The woman from June, the mum, and she's in.
I've just seen her. I've just seen her in House of Dynamite on
from
Netflix.
Doctor Sleep, and that she's very good.
Yeah. She plays Lady Jessica in June, and she's fantastic. She's got a really interesting face, and she doesn't
Got
need
an
to do.
interesting vibe. There's just some people that stand out to me in a strange way that I really like, and I really liked not so much the overall film, but the what's his name? The guy in Alien Romulus.
I've done my best to eradicate all memory of that film. I mean, if you're talking about the guy who played the robot, I thought he was brilliant. The black actor. This is Rebecca Ferguson, whom I think you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree
She's
more.
great.
Phenomenal actress. Fantastic. Let's go back to where it started for you. So I believe you're one of these, I guess I'd call you first and foremost a technical guy, as in you know your way around a camera, you know your way around lenses, depth of field, all that kind of thing. And
the geek is what you're saying.
You probably have a love for that side of it that I'm not disinterested in, but less passionate about than I am about working with actors as a director. Is my first and foremost. I always see the primary role of the director on set to communicate with the actor predominantly, and then collaborate with the DOP to get very much a collaboration with the DOP. The DOP sort of, how do you see the scene being, and they're the one who brings it to life and kind of, or comes up with ways of making it more interesting that you haven't thought of. So you kind of fell into it a bit by accident. Do you want to sort of talk us through how that all started for you?
Fell into what by accident?
Well, let's talk about director of photography first, because I think before that you were an editor. Is that right? Did it start, or did it start the other way around? You became a DOP first, and then you did a bit of editing. I know you're not a big fan of doing editing.
No, I'm not a biggest editing fan. A lot of stuff's come out of necessity. I actually started as a bin man for 5 years, and just wanted it to end. So I got introduced to. I loved cameras when I was young. Like my dad had like a handy cam thing in the 80s and stuff like that. And I used to film little things. We made little short movies and stuff like that. And the more we kind of played around with that, I used to enjoy it. But the quality was never there. You know, to get a reasonable quality camera would cost thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds back in the day. But then, so I kind of gave it up, like the idea of it, and kind of went down the normal road of getting a normal job. Became like a bin man. Absolutely hated it. And then a friend of mine showed me like the DSLRs where you could change the lenses and the quality was really good for the price. So you could pick up a camera for like 500 quid. And so I did that, and then ended up shooting a couple of music videos from some of my friends' bands for like 200 quid.
What sort of year was this? Was this around 2009, that kind of time?
It was 2011.
Yeah, because I remember when filmmakers suddenly started going, hey, DSLR, it records a bit of video, and if you shoot a bit and then you shoot a bit more, and it's kind of basically like a mini camera. I remember those conversations, and remember the first one of those I had was in 2009.
Yeah, it kind of blew up around that time. And so I picked one up, and I got a little bit of inheritance, not a lot, but I got that green screen and an After Effects license with Premiere. So I kind of taught myself like visual effects at the same time, and started doing some like green screen music videos, and had like the first band I did for 200 quid, and it took me like 2 months straight of night shifts on it. And ended up having them playing on top of a Mayan pyramid while these like meteors are hitting the ground around them and stuff. Because it was coming up to 2012, it was like very in this Mayan calendar, end of the world stuff. And there was a band on Universal Records that saw that video and got in touch. And then from then on, I kind of started working with bigger bands on bigger labels and stuff like that. It kind of opened the doors very quickly, which was cool. but I always saw it as like music videos as a stepping stone towards making movies, because that's what I always wanted to do. I used to dream up movies as I'd cycle around my yard as a kid, just thinking of different movie ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because your first. Oh, we've got a fellow filmmaker in the chat, by the way. There's Oliver Hollingdale, independent film director. Welcome to the chat, Ollie. If you've got any questions for Richard, do chuck them in. I will get around to them. Because your first, am I right in thinking your first feature as a director / co-director, would that have been Hosts?
That was Hosts, yeah.
So I remember when this was happening, you and I had already met by this time. And you guys did a mega live stream, because you Dark Fable Media, you were doing kind of YouTube tips. You were doing these funny videos for people to sort of advising them how to make films and stuff like that. And then
advising.
yeah, advising. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember you did a mega live stream to raise money, and I think you raised around 10 grand. Am I right in thinking, was it around that?
Yeah, I think in total we had about 20,000 to make Hosts. So
right.
Pretty low.
And I mean, expand on the detail, but a lot of people, everybody kind of pitched in. You turned your house into the set, and your family were all, getting involved. I think your wife was helping out with catering and things like this. I mean, just talk us through Hosts a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember now. So we decided the cheapest thing to do was to turn my house into a set. So you see that wallpaper in the background of that picture, that lovely, neutral, nice house wallpaper. Basically put it everywhere in the whole house, much to my wife's dismay.
Has it gone now?
Oh yeah. It did stay up a little while though after the film.
Right.
Then we put new white carpets throughout, because we wanted blood trails through the whole house, and so we didn't want to wreck obviously the actual carpets.
Right.
Even though there's still blood bits we find either on the ceiling or behind a cupboard here or there, because there's so much blood in this movie. And yeah, just like lots of favors and mates helping out. It was just a film made by friends, kind of getting together and doing something. I've always been someone that's like, I've always known people that are like, oh, I'd love to make a film if I could do this, but I don't have that. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have this. And it's like, there's always an excuse. Whereas the people that make films are the people that go, I'm going to make that happen. I'm just going to do it. And that's kind of what we did, was just decide, let's just do it. We don't have the money. Okay, then let's try and raise it online. And like, I think we did it differently to the usual crowdfunding route. Whereas like we offered people points on the back end in return for money. So they were basically investors rather than just, you get a DVD or a poster for, an overpriced poster. And so it's kind of an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I remember when it was being made, there was a little bit of a buzz around it. And then I think you took it on a bit of a tour among the horror festivals, that kind of thing. What was your biggest takeaway lesson as an indie filmmaker from this production? What was the diamond piece of wisdom from this film?
There definitely was one. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was to schedule more time, but we didn't on the next one. I think we were even worse for time on the second movie.
I mean, that's what is always the problem, isn't it? There's never enough time. There's never enough money. And but I mean, okay, apart from that, what would be the next takeaway?
Don't use your house? No. It's fine.
Well, you are still married. You didn't get divorced, so
no, still married.
You're doing all right.
Yeah,
you're doing all right.
No, I don't know. I think there's nothing really, as far as the making that movie, that I regret, because anything that was not done how it should have been done was a lesson. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's always value. And like,
Well, I didn't ask if you had any regrets.
No. I'm trying to think
take away a piece of wisdom.
What would be different type of thing.
Mm.
I don't know.
So you went from sticking with the feature films. I know you were doing music videos in between these projects and various other things. There's a request in the chat. Proctophile wants to see the hidden camera in your beard. So there you go. Look at that. See that beard? It's like the TARDIS. It can hold so many things. Ollie says change your name to Richard Oakenshield. I can see that. I can see that working. So yeah, you went from host to Feed Me, which I guess was leapfrogging one horror project to another. Now I've got to tell you, I had trouble watching this one. There were times when I was watching it with my ex-partner, and they actually walked out of the room and said, "I don't want to watch this." So I was like, "Oh, fuck it, now I'm stuck watching it on my own." And then I did. There were some bits I was like, "Oh, this is gross. I've got to skip this bit." But was it a conscious decision to stick within a genre you're already known from a sales perspective? Was that the thinking, or what was the decision behind the choice on this one?
I mean, I've always enjoyed kind of dark stories or kind of creepy things. But Host and Feed Me, I guess they're a little bit out of my usual thing, because they're kind of more violent, very shock factor violent films, which is not really my forte, to be honest. I guess it was more to do with other people working with their kind of vibes on what they're into. But I've always enjoyed dark kind of stuff like that, and will always have an element of that in what I do. But I've definitely kind of had enough of it after Feed Me, if that makes sense. But the whole point of them was to be kind of shocking. I guess we felt like not to be like too commercial on it or anything like that, because we're not really those people that does everything for the money. Like,
but I think you did recoup sales on this, and it did okay.
Yeah, but I think it was more about getting noticed to make the things you want to do. So like we looked at like some of the biggest film directors, you know, like what's his name?
Eli Roth
and stuff like that, like with Bad Taste and Brain Dead. Like it was those things that got him noticed before he went on and did
Lord of the Rings,
family friendly stuff.
Yeah,
and I guess that's where we were coming from a bit, with kind of like, anyone can make a horror, but how do you make something that gets people to notice? How do you get something that kind of either shocks people or this or that, something to talk about? And it ended up working, because we won like the best death award at like from Empire and stuff like that at Fright Fest. And
Fright Fest a great
Total Film, sorry, I think it was, not Empire.
Fright Fest are a great it's a great horror film festival for anyone who's not heard of it before. I've been going to it regularly since the late 90s. Let's give a shout out to actor Christopher Mulvin, who we've both worked with him because he's done a table read for me, so that counts. And I really like him. You've worked with him a couple of times. I think he came to our attention through another indie film director, Patrick Ryder, who's kind of disappeared into the ether, which is a shame, because he was on a bit of a roll, and I've got a lot of time for Patrick. We've also both worked with Patrick. I've written him a feature film script or two. You've been DOP on a couple of his things, I think, which is where you first met Chris. So it's funny how, you know, that there was that time, especially between 2013 and 2017. It was very exciting time in London. There were about sort of 10 of us indie film makers that were all kind of really grafting and creating. Yourself, Mark Zammit, Jimmy Boosh, Patrick Ryder, to name a few of them. You know, and it's interesting to see also what those people are doing now, still grafting away, making films in most cases, you know. How did you find sharing the director's reins? Because not many people can do that. Is that something you do again? You did it twice. Is that something you do again, or is that not a preferred option?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it again. Like to me, like it's just about making sure that, I guess, the vision is there. If, like, I'm not like a passionate director, as far like I'm not someone who's out there going, I need to direct, I want to be a director, or this type of thing. Like, I've been asked to direct other people's films, and for the most part, I've said no. I helped a friend out this year on a film called Remembrance, and kind of co-directed on to an extent, but it was because it's his first film, and I just wanted to help him out with some of that. There's a guy called James Denton. He's a good friend. I've worked with him for years. He's
Yeah,
like a
musician. I think I've met him. I think I've met him one time.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. But for the most part, I don't want to direct for anyone else. The reason I direct my own stuff is because it's my vision, and I'm the one who wants to do it how I would want it to turn out.
Right.
But my talent, I would say, is definitely DOP and I guess the production side of things. Like I'm pretty good at like the whole like look of the film, not just the camera side of the look, but like set design is always me doing it on the films as well, and the decor and the costume and stuff is always
you'd never know from the background of your office, which appears to have a perfect synergy of lighting and design, whereas mine is just like chaos behind me.
If I tilted the camera, you'd change your mind. The chaos on the floor from planning, like working on a movie, it's just I'm swimming in trash.
Right. Well, that can happen.
But yeah, that's my love. Like, so when you were saying about like directors, like with the actors and stuff, like,
yeah,
I definitely think that's definitely a role of it, but I don't think that's always be all end all. I think like apparently Scorsese's not an actor's director. He says he hires actors that are just good at what they do, and then he doesn't have to worry about it. I'd say that's probably more my route. Obviously, I'll as long as they're hitting what the story needs, I'm happy to leave an actor be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll try and hire the people that will match closest to the characters that I've written.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not particularly well worded, if that makes sense. So that whole here to here doesn't come as naturally for me as other people, but here to my hands does. So I'm kind of good at putting things together with my hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably excel at the first of those, and maybe not so on the second one, which is probably why you and I work really well together when we're on set.
I think you're a very good director.
Oh, that's very kind. Did you get that 20 quid I sent you in the post?
In the back.
That's very kind, Richard. Thank you very much. I don't get told that very often, and I find sometimes people don't appreciate how difficult and complex a job it is. But I think and a question one often gets asked is, you know, what advice would you give somebody directing their first play or directing their first film? And and as I said, I've always said this, I'm an actor's director. I like working with actors, but you cast as well as you can within the limits that you have. That is before you get to the set. On set, my advice to a director would be only direct somebody when you have to.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, just lead the unit and be a positive source of energy and inspiration, and be relentless and passionate, but don't give direction where it's not required, because I think what a lot of young directors, the mistake they make is they get on set and I feel like I've got to tell the actor to do this or that. If you've cast the actor well, the actor should know what they're doing already. So, you know, So don't give direction where it's not warranted, I think would be my number
Just
one.
on that note, I just got off set with Chris Melvin that we were talking about. He's one of the
Sure,
best
yeah.
actors. One of the best actors I've ever worked with. He is
Yeah,
absolutely incredible and the
very
nicest guy
underrated.
that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
But he is that to a point. Like, I gave him the script for this new movie that we're working on about a couple of months ago. I remember we sat down at a table just talking about stuff. And I said, "Oh, like, do you have, like," because he wears these kind of goggle things. Do you have these on in this scene? Because I can't remember. We're coming. Everything's shot out of continuity. Do we need to have that on in this scene? Then he said, "Just a minute." And he goes, "In this scene, which we haven't done yet," he's like, "This scene, I lift them up on this line and I turn them to the side at this point." So he's got like all these little actions planned out before we've even got on set of when he tilts his goggles. Like, and I'm like, "You're mental," but that's amazing that he knew that.
Yeah, well, I've got a role in mind for Chris on this project that I hope to be doing in 2026, which again you and I'll be working on together as long as schedules and things align. So watch this space, people. Fingers crossed. You know,
I think everyone should hire him.
I agree. I have worked with him myself. You know, and I really like the guy, and he's a again, you know, I think positive energy on set is very important. You don't want to be, you want good communication. You want people that bring something, but you know, people that don't bring difficulties, don't bring drama to a set.
No, can't do with drama on set.
No, you know, I mean, that's just, you know, it's just something to be avoided at all costs, and also avoid the people that bring it as well.
That's what you get from doing lots of films, is you learn who brings drama and move on. And you build a team, don't you, over time, and then you end up with a peaceful set where you actually just really enjoy the process. And that's part of it.
I mean, I'll talk about our recent collaboration a little bit then. That's a good segue into that, because I have to say that was such a great experience for me. And obviously, you know, the relationship between the director and the DOP is absolutely vital that that's in a good place. And for me, it wasn't the first time you and I had worked together, of course, but so we already had kind of a bit of a shorthand going on. But once I knew you'd hidden a 5th anamorphic camera in your beard, along with the 4 that you'd brought, I knew we were going to be in for a good time. See what I did there? So yeah, it was. I mean, it was just a fantastic shoot. You know, somebody made a joke on another YouTube stream I was on yesterday, saying, "Oh, I wonder if Drinkle will do a production hell on All in Good Time." And I said, "Well, that would be so boring, because I mean, the biggest production hell moment we had was when we weren't sure if we had enough rooms for the crew at the hotel, and I had to run around and quickly sort it out, and it got sorted in about 10 minutes, but that was it. That was the biggest problem we had.
Or trying to figure out what to do with the extra day that we didn't need."
Yeah, I mean, we'd planned for 2.5 days. We thought we were going to be finishing at dinner on day 3, so I guess technically 3 days.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, it all meant we got to stay out quite late and have a few beers, as I seem to recall. So and not have to worry about getting up for a 4 o'clock call time or 5 o'clock call time or whatever. So yeah. But it was great. Like you say, we don't get that very often. Written by Callum Edmonds, of course, his first film of any kind, probably not his last. And can't remember. Were you ever on any of the pre-production meetings when Callum was on?
No, I've never met Callum or spoken to Callum.
Fair enough. Yeah, interesting guy. Very interesting guy. I mean, coming off of Feed Me, what was the next thing that you did?
I went back into doing music videos, did a lot of live shows, working with bigger live bands. I've directed some behind the scenes kind of documentary episodes for Knotfest, which is Slipknot's kind of branded lifestyle online magazine thing.
Right.
So I directed a few of them for bands like Enter Shikari. I filmed Slipknot on their 25th anniversary tour. Lamb of God, a few different bands, Sleep Token, Wembley Arena. Just doing a lot of those type of things. I was really enjoy doing live shows for people. Did a big live show for Tesseract. Radar, and that's actually coming out. The show is coming out on Blu-ray next month.
Right. Fantastic stuff. What about doing the DOP thing on other people's films and projects you've worked on? Because I think you went over, and didn't you go over to Budapest and shoot Witch?
That was before Feed Me that I shot Witch. So we actually shot that a month before Feed Me.
How was that?
That was
shooting
good
in Budapest. I mean, how was the food and accommodations out there and things like that? Working over there, were the conditions good? What was it like at the studio? I hear there's a big problem with dog shit at that studio. I don't know if that's true.
I don't think I noticed any. It was good. I was quite pleasantly surprised. The food was amazing because it was cooked by Jason Twigger, who sadly passed away a few months afterwards. We had a great time. The studio was amazing. They were filming Rob Zombie's Monsters literally in the lot next door. So we were sneaking in and getting photos on the doorstep of the Munster house, and
right,
it's quite funny.
And shooting on the Witcher set, how did that come about? Were they done with the set, or
I think it's just a medieval's town set that people just hire for whatever films.
Yeah. So it's a set that's constantly there that can be used for other productions, and they keep it in situ, a bit like one of the old Hollywood studio Wild West towns kind of thing,
Yeah, it's funny because like one side is like the medieval, but you go around the back of it and it's Western, but it's the same buildings, just the other half is a Western. Right. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's interesting.
Let's have a quick look at some action on All in Good Time. This is what Richard and I worked on recently. There's a quick chat with you behind the scenes here. Let's have a quick look at this.
New cameramen who also create their own films. There's not many cameramen who work in the more traditional film business who have made their own films,
I've worked with Lance a while back, and we kind of got on really well. I like his directing style. He seems to like my DOP style. And when this came up, he gave me a bell and said, "Do you want to do it?" And here we are. It's kind of the vibe that I like, dark, gritty, lots of shadowy environments. I've been a fan of anamorphic lenses since before I knew what an anamorphic lens was. Being able to use anamorphics on more indie projects is becoming more and more accessible. And lenses for the last 20 years have been like, let's see how clean we can get them, let's see how crisp and clean we can get these lenses. Now I think everyone's a bit bored of it and going like, what's the filthiest, disgustingest, most jank lens you can find? Just has that creamy kind of warped focus, soft edges, like everything that's like not like you're humanized, you know what I mean? And I think it adds that element of escapism.
I'll let you go.
Oh, well, we'll hold that there. It was great to hear you talk about that, because obviously I was busy at the time when you were talking about that. I remember you doing a post on your social media when you'd got that set of lenses, and I'm not a technical guy, but I just remember looking at them and going, "That's the sexiest pair of lenses a set of lenses I've ever seen." And they also have your logo on the side, or is that where you got the logo from?
No, I've got like stickers of my logo that I put on all my equipment. So
right,
yeah,
wow. That was
embarrassingly, I'm still wearing the same T-shirt as in that video. So just
yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully you've washed it a few times since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies. I was going to have a co-host for this interview, Rachel Percy, who's a regular on my channel, And just in case, I normally have a co-host just in case I get technical problems and I get cut off, that the interview doesn't end. I just realized I didn't send her the link, so my apologies, Rachel. That's why you didn't come on. Yeah, that would be my bad. Never mind. So moving on, I mean, what did shooting somewhere like Budapest on a low budget independent horror, what logistical or shooting problems, challenges did that present?
Quantity of light was probably the hardest one, because we actually brought all our lights with us, because the higher packages at the location were
outrageous,
bit expensive. Yeah, they're probably higher than the hot cost of the place. So we brought them with us, but we only had like 5-6 lights, and there's some scenes we had to light up a whole town. So we're trying to figure out how to get one light far enough back from these facades to light all the windows.
Right.
We had Dean, which I met Dean on that shoot, and I've worked with him ever since. He's great at climbing, because he does that in his spare time. So he's climbing up back of these facades, gelling windows and this and that. So lighting big areas, I think, was the hardest thing, because we didn't have that much equipment, because it was all brought in one van over from the UK.
What did you do? Take a ferry to France and then drive all the way to Budapest?
Craig did. So Craig was the director.
Right.
And he took the van on his own and drove all the way to Budapest, and the rest of us got a flight.
Yeah, I was going to say, God, I mean, that's a drive. That not only
and he
is
did it straight
drive,
as well, like no stop.
That's like, you know, you're going through several countries there as well. You've got all kinds of visa, and damn, man, imagine if that van hadn't turned up. What would you have done?
Well, we probably would have just had a party.
Yeah, well, the joys and the stresses of independent filmmaking. You heard it here. So let's talk about Jinx, because Jinx is a big passionate project of yours. There's currently a crowdfunder as well going on for it, so I'm going to put that up in just a second. And I mean, okay, talk us. So this is very much, this is a Richard Oakes production. You're directing it. You wrote the script. Your whole family are involved. I think most of your kids are in the film.
Yeah.
You've built a house within a house in Wales somewhere. I mean, tell us the origins of the project, how it came about, and how it is that this is very much a Clan Oakes production.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to do something for a long time, of like the horrors you saw when you were kind of a kid. You know, it's still horror, but like, I'm trying to think of examples, but I guess goosebumpsy vibes. But when I was a kid, you kind of watched stuff that was PG, but it was still scary and still had a little bit of an edge to it. Whereas I find we've kind of lost that. And I know my kids, they love a little bit of a scary story or something like that. So I wanted to do something like that my whole family could watch, like, because none of my kids can watch any of the films that I've made before. And I wanted to be able to take my kids to the cinema to see this one. So we kind of came up with I was sat here with Mark Zamet, actually, who's producer on this and a good friend. And we were trying to come up with an idea, like a concept. And I just needed some kind of spark of creativity. I was in a bit of a creative block after Feed Me. And I was just sat here kind of trying to think. And he said, what about something about like a dollhouse? And that's all it kind of was, that line. And I was like, had so many things of like a dollhouse within a dollhouse. Do you know what I mean? And like what that could mean. And like this kind of Russian doll kind of vibe kind of came to mind.
Yep.
And it kind of sparked a story there. And then I wanted to kind of have an adventure and have it like child-led as well, like kind of Stranger Things. And then that kind of led on to like, well, what are all those types of films with like Stand By Me and things like that? They're all kind of child-led.
Love Stand By Me, man. I mean,
I mean, that's probably a bit more adult like than what we wanted to do, because this film we want to make completely safe, like no swearing, no sex, no drugs, no anything like that, no violence, but still be creepy and still be scary. Do you know what I mean? And so kids can watch it as long as they don't get too scared. And I'm excited, and it's been really fun, and it's funny, and it's an adventure, and it's meant for, like, I guess young teens.
And I mean, is the thinking behind getting the whole family involved? That's a practical thing as much as anything, because you're filming with them. They're playing the kids in the movie. I think your own kids. I mean, I know your oldest son is, already a bit of an accomplished DOP in his own right, if I remember correctly.
He dabbles.
Well, he's certainly dabbled in board games design. He's a creative. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, he's definitely creative.
To some of the younger brethren, many of whom I met for the first time at the play, and it's a shame it was so brief. We got a lovely picture of us all together. Do they have acting aspirations?
I don't think any of them really do. They make their own little short films on the iPad. They film, and they enjoy doing that. I think Issa's probably the one. He's like, I guess, the middle child. Like, he's the one that is probably closest to wanting to be an actor. So he's got probably the main acting with the most lines from the kids.
Right.
But Eli plays a big character in it, and he's had to learn, like, how to walk on stilts and stuff like that for the part, and he's been doing amazing, and I'm really proud of him.
Is this is like a trailer for the crowdfunder, or is this actual footage from the movie that you've already shot?
This is for that.
I think
This is from the movie.
too traumatic.
So this is actually from the movie already.
Yeah, it's a little snippet of a scene from the movie.
Let's watch a bit more.
The house. It seemed to hold on to that energy.
Hi, my name's Richard Oakes, and I'm the director on Jinx.
Hey, and I'm Rue Oakes, and I'm one of the producers.
And we own a Ghostbusters vehicle. It's now available for hire for children's parties for Halloween. That's got to be.
It might be for sale if anyone wants it. Now we're done filming with it. Does anyone want a Ghostbuster Jinx memorabilia car?
Well, I mean, mate, you never know. I mean, if it becomes a big film, that could be a pretty big. That could be a pretty big perk for someone.
Might keep it for the premiere.
Let me put the link for this in the chat. I think we already have it in the blurb below, but I'm going to put it here. I mean, there's an interesting question here from Wormy Spoons, and if anybody has direct questions for Richard, please put them in the chat. I will do them before we finish. How do you approach tone and atmosphere? Have you seen Valhalla Rising with Mads Mikkelsen? Such a visually stunning movie. No one's ever seen it. Well, I've seen it.
I've never seen it, I'm afraid.
Just because Richard's got a beard doesn't mean he's seen lots of Viking films. Just, that's a misconception about the beard.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, let's go back to the first part of that. How do you approach tone and atmosphere? I mean, is that something you think about?
Yeah, massively. I mean, most of what I do is about tone and atmosphere, because it's horror and suspense, and making it feel how you want to feel. In Feed Me, we made his house the most grotesque place you could look at. Like, every wall looked like it had been smeared in poo, and like it was just meant to make your stomach churn, and I think it had that effect. Whereas here, with like the tone we're doing is very 80s, so every location we've had to rent and every vehicle we've had to buy and stuff like that has been 80s legit, but it's probably doubled the budget of the movie just choosing it to be 80s. But
right,
it's definitely got a really cool vibe. We've only edited a little bit of it so far because we've been back to back filming, but
I've got a stack of 80s vinyls. I mean, they don't come any more 80s than this. The soundtrack to The Last Dragon. Look at that. That is the 80s film. So if you need some 80s vinyls in the background or in the house or something like that, I can help you with those.
We watched Burbs yesterday. That was I love that movie.
Burbs.
Yeah, so good.
I don't know, man. I need to rewatch it. I think at the time it felt like when it came out, it felt like it was trying to be one thing and it was something else. And I suspect now, if I watch it now that I'm much older, and I can probably appreciate things I didn't see in it when I was
I
a
really
teen.
love it. It's ridiculous. It's 80s, and it's everything. I'm here for everything like that.
Yeah, it's Courtney Gaines, isn't it? The ginger-haired kid that he always played these kind of interesting, quirky roles. Great actor.
Oh, is that him? I was trying to think who that was.
That's the because it's the weird neighbours move next door,
The
and he's like
Klopek kid, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like the son with the pasty white skin and
Yeah.
ginger hair. Yeah, and yeah, and it's not a bad film.
And then I went from that to Inner Space and watched that.
Mate, that came out, I think, the same year. That was 88, I think.
84, I think. It was the year I was born.
No. Inner Space
Wasn't
definitely
it?
No, it definitely came out in
Maybe it was 85.
I think it was released at the end of 87 in the UK, because it came out the same week as the re-release of Snow White. You know why I know this? Because I started
87.
I started working at the cinema. Cinema reopened, and there were 3 films that were on, which was Dirty Dancing, Inner Space, and re-release of Snow White. And I got stuck in Snow White, I remember. And I was boring.
Inner Space is one of my favorite films of all time.
Inner Space is great. I love Inner Space. And I mean, that's the film that introduced me to Robert Picardo, who's one of my favorite character actors. Yeah, he's fantastic. Wormy Spoons. I don't know everything about location. So Oliver Hollingday wants to know, I did see Witch. Where was that location? Well, we talked about that earlier, Ollie. That's the medieval village in Budapest. From what information I could find, it was an established set. Yeah. Was it daunting stepping on that set as a DOP? Well, apart from the lighting issues that you had already.
He said The Witch. The one we did was called...
Oh, that might be... I think that's a different film, isn't it? Yours is just called Witch. The Witch is a different movie. Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't daunting. I think what really frustrates me is when people say, you're good DOP, make this look cinematic, and they'll give you like a white office, and you're like, well, that's not how this works. Like, it's what you put in front of the camera is what makes cinema.
Yeah, I mean, let's give a different example of that with Richard's own work here. You know, this is something that you can make cinematic, and this is a set that Richard constructed for Jinx, which I think is the attic of the house. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And you've got your like Narnia type wardrobe at the end there. Who knows what lurks beyond? Fantastic stuff. I mean, one of the things I really admire about you, apart from your incredible creative abilities, and we do talk about this on my interviews, David McGiffert and I had a really quite deep conversation about this. He was the first AD on all 3 Back to the Future films, and if you haven't seen his interview with me, you should. It's amazing. And he was on for 2 hours 45 minutes. I kept sort of telling him, you know, we've been on a while now, David. Let me just tell you another story about Christopher Lloyd. Oh, all right, go on then. But we had a really interesting talk about work-life balance, which I think is very difficult to get right in our industry. And our industry is a graveyard of broken relationships. And one of the things I've always loved about you is the relationship that you have, without getting too much into your personal life, but with your partner, your wife, Rue Oakes. And you are somebody only needs to spend 2 minutes in the company of you and Rue, and you can see what a unit you are, and how you have each other's backs, and how, you know, it's not just the love and all the romance and all that stuff. That's all there as well. But I don't think you'd be able to function in the same way as a professional creative if you didn't have that bond with your partner, if you didn't have that support. Do you want to talk us through that a little bit? Just like,
of course. I was hoping for a segue on that, because literally nothing I do would exist without her. She's the most supportive person that I've ever met. and
Gotta-
with each other through thick and thin. You're going to make me well up. But she's been instrumental on this film. She's a producer. She's the executive producer. She's done all the costume design. She's done loads of the props. She helped me build the set. We've basically just been 90% of this movie has been me and her working our asses off, getting it, buying everything, making every prop, making every costume, buying BMXs, repainting them, tearing them apart, buying all apart. Like, I think it will be a surprise, like when people see the behind the scenes, like how much this is just me and Rue grinding for, like, not that way, but like for
that would be a very expensive perk on the crowdfunding.
For like, it's been hard work, but she's just as much part of this movie as me, like, and that's been such a great thing to do, because every other film she's kind of not been involved with. Actually, it's the first time she's ever been on a film set, and that's actually shocked me. But she's always had to, in the past, look after the kids while I'm on the film set. But this time, obviously, most of the kids are there, and so it's been great. And she's been such a wonderful person to have, and she's got a really good eye and ear as well. Like, so I'll be directing, she'll come up and be like, "Oh, do you think maybe it should be delivered more like this? Because remember that this has happened or this has happened." It's like, oh yeah, that's a great point, actually. And so she's really good at highlighting these things.
I think you couldn't ask for a better partner than that. And I just when I it was so great to see the two of you together. I don't get to see the two of you together very often. I remember the first time I met her was when we'd come back off that film shoot in France, and our van hired by Tony Fadil Limited had broken down in halfway to the fucking port in Holland, and then we all had to spend an extra night in Holland, and there was a lot of running around sorting out hotels and people's houses to stay at and things like that. So we came back to East London, which is where you were rendezvousing with a vague recollection that she was driving like a Volvo. I might be wrong, like a long hatchback car. And I had to get the tube back at this point to then get home. And she sort of said, "Where do you live, Lance?" And I said, "Oh, North London, blah, blah." "Well, we can take him, can't we, Richard?" Which I saw your eyes grown.
Like this.
You just wanted to get home. But it was so nice. And then you guys came in for a cup of tea, and because I sort of insisted, come in for a cup of tea because you got to have a little break before you drive home. That was so nice. And
she'll do anything for anyone, honestly.
That was that said an awful lot. That was the first time I met her, and that told me everything I needed to know about Rue. And what an amazing human being. You don't need me to tell you you're lucky in that respect. But yeah, everyone needs that type of person in their life, let me tell you. So okay, so Jinx, I mean, it's a small budget. You're filming it kind of in segments, which obviously, as we both know as indie filmmakers, you always get told not to do that, but sometimes that's the only way.
I'm trying to do it as least as possible. There's like between a week and 2 weeks between each shoot, so it's not like I've done in the past where the film drags out for a year of shooting. It's not like that. It's pretty much going to be wrapped up within the space of 2 months.
This guy reminds me of the guy from Mouse Hunt.
Yeah.
The Christopher Walken character. Did someone make that observation on set? They must have done.
That was the observation I had when I designed him.
Right,
definitely inspired by him.
Yeah, Chris Walken from Mouse Hunt.
So good.
Look at where have the kids gone? I'm guessing he's trying to sort of use all these devices to track them down. I don't know, but did you ever see a TV show? I mean, I'm a bit older than you, so you may not have caught it, but you can watch it. It's on YouTube. And it used to come on ITV around 79, 1981, 82, something like that. at sort of 4:30, and it was called Children of the Stones.
Never heard of it.
Oh, mate, it was proper creepy. It was basically about this kid and his father. They travel to Avebury, which is, you know, the village that's got the stone circle. It was even earlier than I thought, actually. It was 1977, so that's the year Star Wars came out. And yeah, and then people in this town are like disappearing. And just a lot of weird shit is happening, and it's got the creepiest, I'll tell you now, it's got the creepiest end credits of a TV show ever. You're going to go and search them out when we come off of this. But this is the kind of thing, you know, when you said you want to make something creepy, but you want it still to be something your kids can watch. This is the first thing that popped in my head when you thought about that. And I mean, I watch it now, and obviously it's tame now because, you know, in 77, a Dalek could scare the crap out of a kid, but now, you know, kids laugh a lot. Exactly, yeah. But yeah, this, I mean, there are still elements about this that are very freaky, and it was Gareth Thomas who played Blake in Blake 7. So yeah, check it out. I think you'd probably, there's a research piece. I think you'd find it interesting. So what's the timeline for Jinx? When can we expect to see it?
Well, we're finishing shooting. We would have been finished in November, but there was a cancellation on one of the locations. So, and then Chris is going on to another movie in November, so we've had to wait for him to do that before we finish this last day. So potentially, well, we'll be finished in December filming. Will be edited by probably February. Looking to sell probably up to Cannes, and then probably release around October. So probably in about a year. It'll probably take by the time it comes out.
Fantastic.
Hopefully do a festival run through the summer with
is
it.
Is that the plan, to sort of sell it at Cannes?
Well, it's an option. Normally we finish a movie just too late to get into Cannes. But I'd love to take it to all the festivals that we've done before. I'd love to go to Beyond Fest in LA again.
Yeah.
Feed Me was premiered in LA at Beyond Fest. We'll see how it goes. This might not be, I don't know whether it will be as well received. I've only released really violent films that have been, you know, I think Feed Me won 25 awards at the festivals, but I've never released a film that's not super violent. Maybe that won't go down as well, but maybe it will.
Well, I've got a surprise for you, because someone who wanted to say hello, and I no doubt wish you luck on this project as well, is the man who wrote the film that you and I worked on. MAULER is in the house.
Hello, lads. How you doing?
Hello. How's it going? I like your new icon, MAULER. It's sort of very, it's almost like this is the Halloween version of you.
Oh, yeah. Halloween's the best time of year, man, except this time I got a bloody cough that I'm still trying to get over. So apologies if I mute randomly, but it's just me trying to survive in this wonderful world.
So I don't know if you caught any of that, but Richard is currently crowdfunding his feature film Jinx, which he's kind of making with most of his family. He actually built half the set in a barn in Wales. Funnily enough, not that far away from certain people. And this is it, MAULER. So yeah, do check it out, mate. Maybe you can give it a plug.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's really cool these days how much all these kinds of projects are going on in these sorts of spheres, and it's good to get more knowledge on all of them. So, of course, congrats and thank you, man, for all the work you did on that film. Both of them, of course.
It's great. It's good fun.
Yeah, we had a blast, and it was, the actors loved the script, and you know, what can I say? I mean, also very grateful that you sort of picked me and had my back as the director for it. Made 2025 the best year of my life in some considerable time. So if I haven't thanked you for that publicly, I'm doing it now.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you, man. It's you know, a lot to learn for myself about the process, and then being able to hear about people having a good time along with, you know, the whole thing getting made, that's just the best news you can get. So, you know, we're nearly there now. People are going to start watching it soon.
I know. I mean, there's another filmmaker in the chat called Oliver Hollingdale who's just made his first fantasy feature. It took him yonks to make it. And he's big fan of yours. Keep fighting for the indie filmmaking guys. Yeah. So, and, you know, we need support indie filmmakers to keep that creativity alive. I mean, yeah, it's true. And it's great that, in a way, I'm really pleased that people like yourself and Drinker have sort of taken that risk and put one leg in the lake, because it'd be very easy for you not to have done that, and to some degree kind of sit in the ivory tower of YouTube and not get your hands dirty.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, not take the risk, continue to sort of just, you know. I mean, when you do something like this, you're you open yourself up, which is you know,
sure.
It's a part of it, and it's in some ways an exciting part of it. You know, however this goes, I think as long as all of us gave it our best shot, that's the best you can ask for, and plenty to learn from it as well. Like I said, it's quite an experience, and you get to meet so many wonderful people along the way.
True. Here's an interesting question. I have often wondered this myself, asking about the lore behind your name. Why is the L capitalized? Was that just a typo?
No, fuck, I can't even remember really, because this was before I even made a video. I think I did it just because I thought it looked cool. I can't remember.
It's
like if there was more to it than that.
It's lost in the rifts of time, a bit like the gnomes that live in Richard's beard. You know, will we see them again? Who knows? Yeah, fantastic stuff. Well, Richard, your crowdfunder, it's live now. You've got 12 days left on it. You're trying to get up to $5,000. You're nearly at 2. That's not bad. So hard raising money through Kickstarter and those kinds of methods these days. But if people want to donate, the link is there. I put it in the chat earlier. It's on Indiegogo. Sorry, not Kickstarter. But any crowdfunding platform these days, very hard to raise money. I mean, not only because it's oversubscribed and lots of people are trying to do it, but also because no one has any money, because, you know, we're all kind of living on the breadline a bit with the cost of living and things like that. So I'll say what I say always, which is, if you can't put your hand in your pocket, and we appreciate that a lot of people probably can't, you might just be getting by month to month. What you can do is you can grab that link and you can share it on your social media. You can plug it. That costs you nothing. And Richard and his team will appreciate it very much. But there are some pretty cool perks on there as well. So if you do want to check out the perks, I think you can even be an extra in the film. I don't know if that's going to be a bit like a phone box photo, like how many of extras can we cram inside a doll's house for a scene or something. But
we need a search party. So.
Indeed. Yeah, but you know, you're about halfway through filming it now, right? You're about halfway through
just
filming
over, yeah, just over halfway.
Yeah. So that's Richard's next thing, and also Richard and I hopefully will be shooting another project. We might even be doing MAULER's next film, because I heard that he was quite pleased with what we did last time. I heard, so
very much so. But the idea of me writing a movie, I doubt it's gonna happen anytime soon, but who knows?
Mate, I reckon you could do one short a year, probably. I mean, you know, to get to warm up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, right? Let's see what everyone thinks.
Yeah. You know what? My advice to you on that is, and I said this to my cast before we did our play last week, because, you know, we had reviewers come in and everything. And I basically, I never read reviews when a run is ongoing for a show, because I don't want to be impacted. The most important belief in a project is your own. And it really is about what you think of it, whether you think it's good, whether it achieved what you wanted. And if you if you had to take shortcuts, you know, that scene with 5 tanks has only got 1 tank in it because we didn't have enough money for 5 tanks. But I don't think on your film there were any 5 tank scenarios that we had to cut. There was a couple of, like, you know, this location or that location may have worked slightly differently, but I don't think there was anything where we went, that didn't quite.
It was unfortunate we had to cut the expedition to Antarctica, but I didn't think it was that necessary in the final script.
That was an unnecessary prologue scene. I didn't want Richard to risk his beard becoming icicle-like and then snapping off. Plus the gnomes would not have been very happy. Rich, is there anything else you want to plug or give a shout out to before we wrap up?
I'd love to give a shout out to Jitters, which is the previous film that I DOP'd for director Mark Zammit. He's helping produce Jinx as well. Jitters and Jinx, getting all muddled up with that. But he's been so instrumental with everything. So I'd like to just thank him for everything that he's done, and I'd like to plug his movie.
Oh yeah. Here we go. This is the one that sort of reminded me of Pennywise when I saw the poster.
There is a trailer for it out, I think, if you wanted to show that.
Here you go. Let's back the poster up. So this is on IMDb. You were DOP on this. How many days did you have shooting on this?
Well, it wasn't a lot. It was crazy. I think maybe 12 or something silly. It was.
There you go, MAULER. So it's possible to shoot a feature film in 12 days.
Well.
So
I think they didn't they shoot the original Fly in 16 days. I think the Fly from the 50s,
the black and white one. I don't know. I haven't seen the call sheet for that movie.
Do you know it's actually a Mandela effect that it's in black and white? Because it's actually color, but loads of people believe it's in black and white because that's how it was marketed.
Really?
Yeah, I know this because we're doing an episode on the Fly tomorrow. So.
Right. This guy looks like he's a rebel pilot from Star Wars. He's got like the orange, white, I mean, I don't remember them having nail guns, but
that's not where a nail gun goes either. He's gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, another interesting looking film. I thought that actually was Mark Zammit for a moment on the right there, but he's got the Zammit beard and hair. I mean, you can tell that you shot this, Richard. It's got that look.
The trademark look.
Yeah, it has got that look. In fact, when's that coming out?
I think that's coming out in March, I think.
Okay, fantastic. Well, when it comes out in March, let's get either Mark or you and Mark on to talk about that one, and we can give it a plug on the channel.
Sounds good.
There we go. All right. Well, we've gone over time. So just want to say thanks very much to my guest, Richard Oakes.
Thank you, Lance.
Not at all. Do check out his campaign for Jinx on Indiegogo, running now. If you can donate, please do. If you can't, like I said, share the social media. And also thanks to the Longman for coming on as a special surprise guest, because Richard and the Longman MAULER had never met before.
Yeah, it's true. We should have had a chat at some point.
Yes,
would have been neat, just to find out everything, how it went and stuff. Obviously, you got the behind the scenes, but hey, a bit more flavor here and there. But well, yeah, man, I'm happy with how it turned out. So thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. I'm glad you liked it.
Our film is actually all in good time for the backers. Is actually dropping tomorrow evening. Amazing. I think around 9 o'clock. This is for the backers only, not for the general public. There is plans afoot to have a screening in London. I think but we're just trying to find a venue at the moment. So Richard, if you want to hang on for a couple of minutes after we finish, I might talk to you about that quickly. So listen, that's it from us, guys. I'm going to be back with 2 industry interviews next week, including a couple more DJs from the house music scene. I've got another filmmaker or 2 coming on this side of Christmas. I've got actress Ali Walker coming on to talk about her new book. She played Agent Stall in Sons of Anarchy. So if you're a Sons of Anarchy fan, which clearly Richard should be with a beard like that, then do check out that interview. That's going to be amazing. And she's been in an absolute ton of stuff and is one of my favorite actresses that's out there. And I just don't think she gets enough work, actually. I'd like to see her in more things. But now she's turned her talent to book writing, so I'm going to be talking to her about her book. In the interim, Do check in on each other and make sure you speak to the people that you care about. Don't leave them hanging in the ether. And we'll talk to you real soon.